What's up, champions? Back again for another video. This time, we're going to go through some awards we had from last year. And I'm very, very excited to go through it. Happy New Year, of course. And I'm going to go through some real quick. I'm going to go through that Tampa card, the betting results from that Tampa card. And later on in this video, once I'm going through the awards, after the awards mainly, I'll talk about my performance of the year, improvements to be made, stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm going to go through this Tampa card freaking quickly. So, because I want to get into the awards stuff like, because I think that's just a lot of fun. So I'm mainly going in betting two things: Miranda Maverick to beat Jamie Lynn Horth, and that was a max bet. I was like, she's going to win, she's going to win, she's going to win, and she did. And I bet a good amount on Josephine Knudson. She didn't win. And yeah, those are my bets for this fight, and that you can see I parlayed it a bunch. Anyways, just going over those fights. Knudson, just to take down some, takedown defense was not there, sadly. Pierre Rodriguez has really good timing on takedowns. I made a point saying Pierre Rodriguez is her control isn't good, and I think that was true for rounds 1 and 2. Just Knudson didn't do enough in those rounds. I thought she won round 2. I thought there was an argument for that, but I was there live. If you don't know, so maybe I had like a different point of view. I know a lot of people had like 30-27 Pierre, but yeah, Knudson didn't look so great. She needs to work on that takedown defense immediately. It needs, because people are going to be looking to exploit that from here on. That's what they're going to be looking to do. Yeah, that was pretty tragic, to be honest. I still got belief in her. I think she's still really good, and maybe we're going to get actually good odds on her from here on. So that's the hope in the future. Miranda Maverick is Jamie Lynn Horth. Yeah, Miranda didn't look good, and she'll be the first one to tell you she didn't look good. I was very much rooting for her. I was wearing my Miranda Maverick shirt when I was at the event, so I was rooting very hard, and I was like very, very scared after round 2. But I was like, but at the same time, I was like, am I really that scared? Like, genuinely, I really wasn't like that worried, because it's like, I know she has so much on the line. She's not going to do stupid stuff. And I said a bunch of that stuff because I knew she had the adoption and stuff like that. She's not going to do anything stupid. She's going to do what she has to do to win. And she did. And she talked about afterwards, like, the elbows or back of the head shots in, like, round 2 or something like that were, like, messing her up badly. And, yeah. And she did say after the fight that she's like, I made this girl look better than she is. And, like, I should have, like, steamrolled her. And I absolutely agree with her. So, like, that's because Jamie Lynn Horth did surprisingly well against Miranda Maverick in short notice. I don't think it's any reason to be like, oh, Jamie Lynn Horth's going to beat some girls in the future. I don't really think so. And yeah, and I had a good amount on like Miranda Maverick to win, like minus 3.5, so that sucks. I didn't make too much profit, but profit is profit. If everything went my way, oh my god, it would have been an all-time night, but profit is profit. Miranda Maverick winning was what gave everything to me, so very much appreciate that. But those were the bets I had, really. I only had one other bet, but I can't show it on BetMA tips. It was Dustin Jacoby to have more significant strikes, but we'll get to that in just a second. So, but let me just pull up Tapology real quick about my picks. Already went over that. David Grant versus Roman Tavares. David Grant did his thing. Just better kickboxer at range. I thought Roman Tavares would have bigger moments with like the striking and maybe hurt David Grant because of age showing. David Grant looked fine. He looked like himself, so props to him. Felipe Lima, Miles Johns. Felipe Lima is the real deal. This dude is so good. Felipe Lima, I think it's got a chance to be like a pretty breakout star, because I was so impressed with like I was seeing from this guy. Talented. He's super talented. I had a great team at All Stars. I love it. I think he might be the real deal. And maybe like another test I need to see, but yeah, that was fantastic. Sean Woodson, Fernando Padillo, freaking KO. I knew Woodson would win this fight. Like, it's just the level of competition is not the same. And like, if you consider the circumstances against Saldana, you can give Woodson a little bit of a slide. he did what he had to do. Because I never thought much of Padilla, excuse me. And Woodson is just, he's nice. He's nice with it. I'd like to see him get a step up in the division. I think he could do some good things. Alvarez beats Drakkar Close with the freaking flying knee. That was insane. Yeah, it was kind of a mismatch, to be honest. And not much more to say. Joe Alvarez is really good. Feel bad for Drakkar Close, though, for his, I think it was his brother dying, so rest in peace to him. God with you. Michael Johnson wins by KO against Otman Zaitar. This KO was insane. It was always going to be something about whoever gets caught first. I'm happy it was Michael Johnson catching Zaitar because I don't want to see Michael Johnson go out cold again. So I'm happy about that. Happy to round 2. Well done. Like, Otman Zaitar doesn't win if it gets out of round 1 anyway. So yeah, Michael Johnson feeling the shame. That was game. Navajo Sterling beats Tuco Tokos. I mean, I have to tell you this. I know a lot of people are hating on Sterling for that performance. I actually liked it a lot because it told me this guy has really good fight IQ for someone as green as he is. Because he didn't really chase for the finish too much. And honestly, I like that in fighters. Like, a lot of the fighters I think are really, really good and I value a lot. I think, man, this guy is that dude. I think a fight like this where they'll try to go for the finish sort of, but they're not forced. They'll never force it. They'll never force a finish, and that's what Navajo Sterling did. The body shots were absolute beauty, and I can tell this guy's pretty good. Getting taken down by Tuco Tokos, not so great. That's very bad, of course. He's still this is his 5th fight, maybe. Actually, 6th fight. Impressive as hell. Even doing that, he's super green. They're going to take his time with him, and they should take his time with him. He can be really special if he develops correctly. Keyword if. But I like the performance. Yeah, he doesn't go for the kill, but if it's there, he's going to get it. He's going to get it if it comes to him. Yeah. And I will say this: when I was at the fighter hotel, so I saw a bunch of fighters. Who were the fighters I saw? I saw Felipe Lima. I mean, I didn't meet up with him or anything like that. There were a few on this card I saw. I saw Dustin Jacoby. I saw Manel Cap. I literally walked across Manel Cap. It was super wacky. I saw Vitor Petrino. I saw Bruno Silva. I went to get ice cream one time, and then I saw Bruno Silva walk out of some other store and eating with super big glasses on. Let's get to him. I saw Vitor Petrino when I was checking out the lobby. I saw Cub Swanson, which is super cool. I was I said to Cub Swanson, sick fight. And he's like, eh. That was awesome. But my point is about Navajo Sterling Seaman. Dude is huge. He is massive. I was surprised. Because I was expecting this, think okay, Vitor Petrino is going to be bigger than this. No. Navajo Sterling is bigger than this dude. And I was pretty shocked by that. So just wanted to say that. Danny Marcos beats Adrian Yanez. This hurt my soul. I mean, it was close. I think you can argue Yanez, but you can definitely argue Marcos, especially that round 3. It felt like Yanez could have done way more, especially at the end. But it is what it is. This dude Danny Marcos is going to lose soon. I know he is. I'm going to keep hating him unless the style matchup is so in his favor. I'm going to keep hating him. I didn't bet against him this time, but yeah, that was... I didn't like that. And he's a Tampa guy, and he got booed in his own arena, so I guess I'll tell you what. Dustin Jacoby versus Vitor Petrino. I call Dustin Jacoby masterclass. I feel very good. I feel very good about that. I also said Jacoby significant strikes. I actually did bet that. I made 3 bets on that card. A bunch of Miranda Maverick stuff, a bunch of Josephine Knudsen stuff, and it was only Dustin Jacoby more significant strikes. You got it, barely. It was a little more closer than I thought. But if I was betting this card normally, I would have probably put 1 unit on Jacoby, and it's I just don't think this Vitor Petrino guy is that good. And I honestly still think that's the truth. Now Vitor Petrino's on his way to fight Denise, and I'm going to be honest, I think he loses that fight as well. Why? Because he has a complete grappling advantage, don't get me wrong, but now he's at heavyweight, and I don't think his fight IQ is good enough to win that fight. Because what is he going to need to do to win that fight? Get a takedown right away. Just don't even wait. Don't even wait. He's going to stand on the feet for a little bit, and he's going to get his leg kicks completely destroyed by Denise. That's what's going to happen. He's going to lose again at heavyweight. This guy's not that. He's not that great. If he has fight IQ, he's going to get a takedown and win that fight. But I don't think that's going to be the case, man. I'm not high on Vito Petrino at all. Props to freaking Dustin Jacoby. That KO was insane. It's like Kamaru Usman versus Masvidal. Insane. Great KO. Manel Kape versus Bruno Silva. Man, Manel Kape looked insane in this fight. Absolute show. One of the best performances I've ever seen. I just realized in my awards I didn't put Performance of the Year. Manel Kape wins that. Manel Kape wins Performance of the Year for this fight. Oh my goodness. Absolutely insane. Like, you can't ask for more than that. I'm probably forgetting some other big Performance of the Year's ones because I didn't even think about it. But I'll give it to Manel Kape just because I think that's in the contention for that. Because holy cow, what a win. Cub Swanson, Billy Quarantillo. It was close to being right, but Cub Swanson found this shot. Holy cow. And this was such a great fight. Amazing fight. Props to both these two for putting on a show. Billy is an absolute warrior, and so was Cub Swanson. Thank you very much. Insane KO by Cub Swanson. I did not see that coming. He still got that pop. And if it's that last fight, thank you again, Cub Swanson. You're the freaking man. And Joaquin Buckley beating Colby Covington. I wasn't super sure going in. I was like, I'm just gonna go with the guy being active. Not as much of a question with age. He's got momentum. And man, I came out thinking, okay, this Buckley guy's a lot better than I thought he was. He's a lot better than I thought he was. Just, I honestly, from the skill set I saw that night against Colby Covington, I think he can beat Bilal. I think he can. He can beat Usman, he can beat Bilal. Those guys, specifically. I don't know about some of the other matchups, but man, he is the real deal, Joaquin Buckley. And, like, I didn't think so before. Mind has been changed. At least with those two matches. I think he beats Usman. I think he beats Bilal. Yeah, I think he's a good matchup for Bilal. Or a good matchup. Or Bilal is a good matchup for him. And he can win that fight. And that would be an interesting one. So, man, props to Buckley. He really, really, really impressed me. He looked great. But yeah, that's it for that. If we want to go through my topology in terms of, I'll do picks later. I'll wait for weigh-ins because I'm doing this late. If I go to my picks this year, 61.7. Although I think there's like one, I might have had like one win and one loss reverse, but it'd be the same anyway. Something like that. 61.7% correct. It's okay. It can be better. Matters more about the bets because I care more about winning bets and stuff like that. I ended up losing on the year by a little bit. But of course, I'll get into that more so later. But I want to get into these awards because I don't want to dilly-dally no more. So let's get into it. The Champ Awards, I'm calling it. Maybe I'll come up with a different name, but it's like, I just want to go quick. I just put this in PowerPoint really, really quickly. So let's get into it. So what is the fight of the year? I'm making a distinction between championship bouts and non-championship bouts because there's been so many great ones that I want to give acknowledgement to multiple. And my answer for my favorite, and again, I should refer to this. This is my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. If you have any other your own opinions on this, put them in the comments below. By all means, I'll happily discuss them. And I think it's a fun discussion. I love talking MMA. Why not talk about it? But my personal fight of the year, in terms of a championship bout, man, for me, it's Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. This fight was bananas. Izzy came this was not an Izzy that was a shell of himself. Izzy came in ready to fight for his life to get that belt back from Dricus du Plessis, who just ended up with his first title defense against a long-time reigning champion, and against Israel. Big rivalry coming into this fight. Man, this fight delivered absolute action throughout the whole thing, and it was a pretty close and contested fight, and both guys were pushing each other to the limit. And that's the kind of thing I love to see. I thought this fight was phenomenal. And it was my favorite championship fight of the year. Of course, there's some others. I liked Steve Erceg versus Pantoja a lot. Pereira, Khalil Roundtree was a great one as well as Poirier, Makhachev. Those are some really great ones. I'm not sure if you want to count Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje as a championship fight or a non-championship fight. I think it's technically non-championship fight. I think that was a great fight. That fight is slept on. A lot of people say it's like, oh, this is a great performance and a great moment. No, it was a great fight. And I say that as someone who was at attendance to that fight. While I was watching it, I was like thinking it's either 3-1 max or 2-2 max. Or not 2-2 max, don't listen to me. It's 2-2 going into round 5. And I said 2-2 because round 1, honestly, round 1 was pretty much mostly Gaethje, besides the last moment where Max hits the spinning kick on Gaethje's face, which is like, I think you can absolutely argue that round went to Max because of that. It was probably one of the biggest pieces of damage to that round. But it was not. I didn't think it was conclusive because Gaethje did some good work, especially to the legs of Max Holloway that round. And of course, round 4, Gaethje knocks down Holloway. I was like, shoot, is this 2-2 or is this 3-1? It could be either way. And of course, Max was winning round 5 because he dropped him. He dropped Gaethje early on in that round. And of course, that final sequence was amazing. And I think that fight slept on. I think you can absolutely include that in Fight of the Year convos. I'm just going to say that because I know a lot of people like, no, it's not. It doesn't deserve to be in the Fight of the Year. I completely disagree. In terms of other championship fights, oh man, I'm forgetting. I didn't make like an honorable mention kind of thing. But just besides the point, those are the ones off the top of my head. Maybe that's for best to have a reference on my top of my head. So yeah, I guess Dricus versus Strickland one was cool just because of how competitive it was. Not necessarily because it was the most exciting fight, but it was razor thin margins. So that's another mention to just throw in there. But the other ones I mentioned before, I'd say were probably better. Pantoja Asakura is pretty fun too. Now, Fight of the Year non-championship bout. What was my Fight of the Year non-championship bout? I was surprised the UFC didn't mention this fight, or when they were mentioning like Fight of the Year stuff. I have it as Ron Betsky, Mateusz Ron Betsky versus Mito Beck-Olobai. I was especially between this one and Ribovics versus El Huber. Those two amazing fights, but I ended up going this one after rewatching. This fight was insane. This fight was absolute bananas. I don't know how either of these guys did some of the stuff that they ended up doing. First off, Orobai's eye, as you can even see over there, just completely destroyed. And he's able to see through it somehow. And this is just non-stop action. It was pretty ridiculous, especially because Ron Betsky in his last fight got completely like smoked in terms of cardio. And like, sure, that happened here as well towards the end of round 3. But like, Ron Betsky takes round 1, puts up a really good fight. Then Orobai probably wins round 2, putting good combos and starting really get going. I was like, and I had Ron Betsky bet. I think I bet the spread when I bet on Ron Betsky. And it's like, oh no, please Ron Betsky, just don't get 10-8'd. Just don't get 10-8'd. Round 3, Ron Betsky gets a knockdown on this guy who's unbreakable, unbeatable, and he was being unfazed by everything the rest of that fight. And Ron Betsky drops him, landing big shots, going ham, and then somehow Orobai survives that, and then goes ahead and then starts beating up Ron Betsky. This was an absolute classic. This is what I love in MMA. I love wars. I love knockdowns. I don't necessarily know knockouts or anything like that, but like big moments like that and like insanity. It has everything you want in an MMA fight. I love that fight to death. This fight was amazing. And I have to also give a shout out to Reba Vix versus El Huber in the Spear. The setting was immaculate. That round three was insane with Zellhuber knocking down Ribovics with an elbow, and then Ribovics hurting Zellhuber, and Zellhuber using head movement to survive for his life. Oh, so good, so good. Um, but yeah, I ended up going with this one. After rewatching, I think I'll go with this one. I like this one a lot. And you can't be wrong going Zellhuber versus Ribovics as your answer though. Comeback of the year. So, what was a crazy comeback that happened? There were a few that were some. There were some pretty good ones. I ended up going with Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. The context of this fight was crazy because Ortega coming off a super long layoff, in Mexico City, Yair's territory. Crowd is pro Yair. Brian Ortega, before the fight starts, when Bruce Buffer's reading his name out, he jumps and he hurts his foot. And it's pretty obvious in the fight that happened. And round one was going so bad for Brian Ortega. Actually, I want to bring up the stats. How many times? I'm so curious now. This is headlined by Moreno. This one. He was knocked down. I have to see. He was knocked down once, but he was on his. He could barely stand up. Yair Rodriguez is such a dangerous striker, and he's going forward to kill on Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega was taking so much damage, and shout out to him. He can take kicks, he can take punches, he can take it all. Brian Ortega is the definition of tough, and you could say that after his Diego Lopez fight as well. Finds a way to weather the storm round one, then be able to find the takedowns round two, round three, and find the finish on the ground where Yair's been getting so much better. It's so impressive. This was insane, especially after he completely injured his foot, and he had to get through that and go through a really tough round one where he sustained a lot of damage. I think this is my pick for best comeback of the year. I think other mentions would be Magny versus Matt Malott. Matty getting destroyed in rounds 1 and 2, then coming back round 3. Great stuff. There was another really good one I'm forgetting. You can low-key say Raquel Pennington against Maya Bueno Silva, or even Juliana Pena, although got robbed. I will say that. This is the one I'm thinking of. Moicano versus Jalen Turner. Moicano getting dropped bad by Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner walking off. Finish Moicano. Then Moicano going all in. I think that's a good one. As well as Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit Saint Denis has his way all round 1, round 2. Oh man, Dustin makes it a dogfight and gets a knockout. That's a great one as well. But yeah, my answer is Brian Ortega. Who is my men's fighter of the year? This hurts my heart because I don't want to give it to this guy, but I don't think you can deny him. It's Ilia Topuria. I think obviously the clear runner-up, Alex Pereira, well deserved as well because he saved a bunch of events for the UFC. But it's hard to deny what Ilia Topuria did this year, KOing Volkanovski, KOing Max Holloway. He did some of the most impossible things anyone could ever do. He beat two of some of the greatest fighters to ever fight in this sport. There's no denying him, I think, and I don't want to like it, but it is what it is. I won't be surprised if Volkanovski beats him, I'll tell you that, but I won't be surprised if Ilya wins either. So, but I have to give Ilya a shine. He's really, really good. Yeah, he beat some pound for pound fighters. I think those wins mean more than Pereira's wins this year, which was Yuri on short notice, Jamal Hill at UFC 300, which is huge. But again, Hill sort of injured, Khalil Roundtree, and good wins. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think Ilya's wins are just mean more. Women's Fight of the Year, of course, got to give credit to the women. Um, who do I think won Women's Fight of the Year? This was really tough because honestly, it really should be Raquel Pennington because she got robbed against Juliana Pena. But I'm whatever. I can't. I don't make the rules. But the problem is, like, a lot of the fighters who did fight this year only fought like once, and like in terms of like the top of the division. Let me check one fighter in particular before I. No, she only fought 2 times this year. I was like, I think you can maybe argue Natalia Silva, only 2 times this year, not a champion. Manon Fiorot, only 1 time, great win. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Rose Namajunas fought 3 times but lost one. It's tough. So I ended up going with Valentina Shevchenko. That performance against Alexa Grasso the 3rd time around, no room for doubt. She dominated. She got her belt back. I guess another runner-up, Zhang Weili. She didn't look super great. I mean, she got knocked down by Yan Jianan. Good win, of course, but I think Valentina wins just off that performance alone. I guess you can argue Juliana Pena, but I don't even think she won that fight. I guess you can also argue Kayla Harrison. Not crazy about some of the wins she got. I didn't think they were anything insane. I'm a little bit Ketlin Vieira doubter, but that's just me. So I ultimately end up going with Valentina Shevchenko. That's what I think for Women's Fight of the Year. But I don't think there's really a conclusive winner like there was with the men's, where it's like Alex Pereira or Ilia Topuria. This one, I think, could be a bunch of girls. But shout out to Valentina. Good for her getting that belt back. Cannot wait for Valentina versus Manon Fiorot. That's my favorite fight. I should have made my favorite upcoming fight of the year, of this coming year. That answer, Manon Fiorot versus Valentina Shevchenko. Super hyped for that fight. So, men's breakout star of the year. Who's the biggest star of the year that came out of nowhere, I guess? Who's that for the men's divisions? I don't think there'd be any other answer. It's Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates came in knocking dudes out left and right this year. And how many wins has he had this year, actually? I'm curious now, because I'm forgetting. Is it 3 or 4? It's one or the other. It's definitely 3 at least. Trevin Giles, Radke, Li Jingliang, Neil Mack. 4 crazy highlight reel KOs. This dude is a superstar. I'm Carlos Prates up the rankings. He's incredible, helping put fighting nerds on the map with Kyle Bajadio, and I guess you could say Gene Silva. Rufy not so much, but Prates I think is like the second in command to Kyle Bajadio. Incredible year for Carlos Prates. He deserves this. Other ones, I didn't think of other ones. I guess you say Peyton Paula is a great one for that one. Oh my god, I forget Gene Silva. I think you say Gene Silva as well. Yeah, those are some big ones, I think. Actually, let me check the UFC rankings because we're on it right now. Might as well. We're gonna have less to say about the next one. Asu Amabaya, maybe? Ayasa Sakura because he fought for a title in his first fight, maybe? Lerone Murphy, I think, is worth a mention. Aiden Zahabi is such a weird one, but I think you could put him in there because he's not ranked. Crazy enough. Just going through each division. No, I wouldn't say him. Joe Alvarez, perhaps. I think it's an alright one. My MVP came into the UFC this year. I think Fluffy's getting his flowers this year, even though he's been in the UFC for a good while now. I wouldn't say anyone in that division right now. Emil Gaziv got a main event, I guess, but no, I wouldn't say him. Yeah, okay. I'm cool with those ones. Yeah, Carlos Prates is my answer, though. Women's breakout star of the year. Who is the woman that really stood out this year? This was a little bit of a tough one, but you know what? I ended up going with Jillian Robertson. I think Jillian Robertson deserves it. I think she put herself on the map in terms of, okay, I'm a ranked fighter now. I'm getting wins. I'm showing a lot of development. I'm ready now. I think that's what Jillian Robertson showed this year, and she got 3 big wins this year. Polyana Viana, easy win. Michelle Watterson, easy win. Lana Pinheiro, not too easy, but good win. Man, I'm not so crazy about it, to be honest, but that's near there. Right there. Jillian Robertson looked amazing this year, and I think she's made a name for herself at strawweight. I think she deserves the recognition. Some other ones, it's a little tough because I'm looking at the rankings. It's like, I want to say Karine Silva, Natalia Silva, but I think you could say she's already been one, to be honest. Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Why not? Why not Cavalcanti? I think she kind of came out of nowhere. She could become a bigger star. I think Eileen Perez is another one, even though I don't want to give it to her, but because I don't think she's that good at all. But there's no denying she's on a streak right now. She's winning. She's not going to be winning for long. But I think you have to mention Eileen Perez and Kayla Harrison. But I think she's already been a well-known name outside of the UFC. I didn't want to give it to her. I want to give it to someone like Jillian Robertson. So yeah. Pay-per-view card of the year there's some great ones, of course, and I want to give one shout out to another promotion, Super Horizon 3. Holy cow, what a card that was! If you have, do yourself a favor and watch that card. Their New Year's card was really good as well. Super Horizon 3 was bananas. Great card, I'll say that. But in terms of the UFC, and also I want to say, card of the year, I also have a Fight Night card of the year, so that's another category. UFC 300. I mean, what's more to say? Iconic KOs. I mean, Max Holloway versus H.G. alone. Insane. Pereira versus Jamal Hill. What a KO by Alex Pereira. Zhang Wei Li versus Yan Jiannan. A pretty underrated fight. I should have mentioned that for like championship fights of the year as an honorable mention. That was a sick fight. I love that fight. Pretty insane to watch live. What else? Oliveira versus Sarukian. Super close, competitive fight. Prohaska versus Rakic. Oh my goodness. Well, I should have mentioned that for non-title fights as well. I think that's a great honorable mention as well, if not a winner. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. That might have been my winner, but nah, I don't think I'd give it to that one. Because Ron Betsky or Lubai went a full 3 rounds. I think I always give a favor to that, almost always, for them to go longer. Man, what else was on this card? Diego Lopez, Sodiq Yusuff. Insane performance by Diego Lopez. Mike Cano versus Jalen Turner. My goodness, what a comeback again. Marina Rodriguez versus Jessica Andrade. I thought it was a really good fight. Cody Garbrandt, Figueiredo. What a way to start the card. Bobby Green, Jim Miller. Jim Miller got his moment to be in front of the crowd. And Bobby Green put on a show to watch. Phenomenal card. Phenomenal card. I'm forgetting. There's one more fight I'm forgetting. Oh, Kayla Harrison. Big takedowns. Big takedowns by, I mean, it was domination. And so was Bo Nickel versus Brundage, which is why I didn't even mention that. But, yeah. Good performances and great showcase of mixed martial arts and why we love the sport. Great card. In terms of other pay-per-view cards, 299 was amazing. O'Malley versus Cheeto. 308, Topuria versus Holloway. Phenomenal card as well. 298 was pretty good. Volkanovski, Topuria. To pull up the cards now. 310 was an awesome card as well. Pantoja Asakura. Honestly, 301 was a pretty slept on card. I liked that card a lot. Pantoja Usyk. That was a great card. 306, I think, deserves a shout out because of the sphere. It's not necessarily the best card though. 305 was alright. I don't want to talk about 304. I'm not as crazy about 304. 302, carried by the main event. Not the best card, I'm not gonna lie. And 297 was alright. I thought it was alright. Nothing crazy. Yeah. So, now let's get into Fight Night card of the year. If you were here for this one, you woke up pretty early. Yon versus Figueiredo. What a card! Some of the most insane finishes we saw all year. We kept hearing talk about the gloves, all these gloves, KOs. This card begs to differ. Ming insane KO. I was gonna say Salikov, Kenan Song. It's not really. That was what the case. Besides the point, some of the Road to UFC fights had some insane finishes. Ming Shi on Fang. I bet Fang in that one. I couldn't believe I lost that bet. But for a KO like that, I can't be too mad. Kong Wang losing to Gabriel Fernandez after Kong Wang was smoking her. Gabriel Fernandez finds a shot and then goes on the ground and subs her. Unbelievable stuff. Carlos Goldberg, Volkan Oezdemir. Great. Like, I want to say, like, it was a competitive. It was a good competitive fight. Good test for Goldberg. Love to see it. Loner Kavanaugh versus Ochoa. Prospects on display. Mahashate versus Mota. Good fight to start that card off. And I'm forgetting. There's at least one more insane banger on this card. I know there is. Already talked about those ones. Oh my god, that's what Long Zhao versus Li Kang. That fight was bananas. That fight was also bananas. This card had everything. It was worth waking up super early in the morning and staying up all night for it, basically. I approve of this card. There's some other really good fight nights, but I'm forgetting off the top of my head. I remember a Mavov versus Cannonier being a good one. Cannonier. I remember that one being a pretty good one. There's some good ones, I know. Murphy Barboza was pretty good. Let's see this one. Alan Curtis 2 is pretty good. Not Blanchfield Fioro. That card was cursed as hell. Shout out Hebas Namajunas because that was my first card I ever bet on. Rosenstrike versus Gazif. That was a great fight night as well. That fight night was getting like trash talked a bunch. Like people saying it was awful. It was quite good actually. It was quite a good fight night. Whitaker Aliskerov was pretty good. Sanhagen, Nurmagomedov was pretty good. Not Type Wars Fidlock. That was the worst one of the year. Moicano St. Denis was pretty good, I thought. I liked Roy Valtyra, probably because I went perfect that card. That was an alright card. What was it? Covington Buckley. How could I forget? Covington Buckley was an insane card as well. I went to that card, so I think that deserves a mention as well. You want to make sure I don't want to miss anything. I'm going to write this down for next year, starting from now. KO of the year. Is this any question? It's Max Holloway over Justin Gaethje. I think you're hard pressed. You can absolutely argue this is the greatest moment in UFC history. That's what I personally think. It's the greatest moment in UFC history. That's why it's KO of the year. Any other year, it would be Vinicius Oliveira on Bernardo Stopage, beyond Stopage. Easy. But, man, this is such a good KO. It would also be like Pereira versus Hill. That would also be mentioned as well. What a KO. What a KO by Max Holloway. The Blast Express. Respect. Submission of the year. I want to give credit to Makhachev. Went to an absolute war against Dustin Poirier. And like, able to find the Darce choke. And I love me some Darce chokes, so I wanted to give credit to Makhachev on this one. After going through an all-out war, sure he won most of the rounds, but it was not like the rounds weren't close. He won rounds, but they were close. Went to war, bleeding bad. The way he got Dustin to the ground to get the thing of beauty. I think the clear second is Hamza Chimaev, Robert Whitaker, for me. And I get why people would probably say that's number one, because he literally broke Whitaker's jaw with it. or no, not the jaw, the teeth. He broke his teeth with it, and I mean, you do not see that every day, and to do that to Whitaker, that's phenomenal. So I think those are the big two that really stood out to me. Um, maybe Skylar Chancey Job on Lemos. I thought that was pretty good too. Um, upset of the year, big upset out of nowhere. I mean, this is OSP versus Kennedy to me. Like, I people, this fight made people think OSP was gonna beat Ryan Spann. I couldn't believe that OSP won this fight, and yeah, he did things OSP just never does. He pushed a pace, and he put it on Kennedy, and he knocked down Kennedy. I'm like, what the hell was this fight? Makes no sense. I still can't believe this fight happened the way it did. I gotta give credit to OSP. Not in the UFC anymore. He deserves some respect. So credit to you, OSP. There's some other really good upsets. Mingxi, I think, is an amazing one as well. Gabriel Fernandez, probably Ketlin Souza against Harugui is a good one. Probably, if you want to talk title fights, I think Bilal Muhammad against Leon Edwards is a really good one. I was like so sure Leon was going to win that fight. That was crazy. I think you can give credit to Raquel Pennington over Maya Bueno Silva as well, because she did not expect to win that fight. She did. Like Raquel Pennington. Any other like big ones I'm forgetting? Nah, not Chichenko. I wouldn't say I was upset like that. Roundtree won. That would have been pretty insane. But yeah, those are ones that stood out to me. Well, I want to look towards the future as well. My most hyped Dana White Contender Series fighter, and I want to be interesting and say who has not fought yet, because just seeing Loner Kavanaugh or Cody Haddon, whoa, welcome to the club, wonderful. I want to be a little special, and I ended up getting two because I wanted to mention both these guys. First off, I want to make sure I mentioned his. I don't remember this guy's first name. I know his last name. Yes. Here we go. Luis Gurule. I think this guy is already a top 15 flyweight. This guy trains with out of that team with Roy Val. And I don't know if it's Factory X anymore or anything, but that's it. This guy is the real deal. He's already top 15 ready. I think this has got someone to really watch out for coming out of Dana White Contender Series and whenever he gets a fight in the UFC. Him, as well as this guy, Mario Pinto. I think Mario Pinto has a big future at heavyweight, and I don't really think, especially from many prospects from like heavyweights, is like I don't see much from this guy. I'm not crazy about this guy. I think this guy's a real deal. I think this guy could be top 15. I mean, I don't know. It's heavyweight, so he can maybe randomly get KO'd. But man, I like this guy, Mario. So I like him. I like the power he has on display. He's undefeated. He's gone long, and I think he's gone 5 rounds before. Like, total, yeah, he has. He's gone 5 rounds before. I mean, I think this guy's he's going to be one of the faces of heavyweight in the future. I like me some Mario Pinto. And now, since this is a betting channel, what was my favorite bet of the year? I've had some good ones, had some really bad ones, so we'll get into that. What was my favorite bet of the year? Casey O'Neill over the Juan Santos. This is such a good underdog bet. I was so proud of myself with this one, because I feel like I call this fight to an absolute T. Casey O'Neill absolutely went in and just showed the Juan Santos, you do not belong. I belong. I'm the girl who is being slept on. First, I really don't understand why people were saying that Casey O'Neill was going to lose this fight. I still don't. And like, crazy to me. So yeah, Casey O'Neill absolutely lit up Juana Santos and put up pace on her, and Juana Santos was just not able to keep up with her at all. So great win by King Casey O'Neill. In terms of other really good bets I made, Manel Fudel against Aaron Blanchfield. I think that was a phenomenal bet on my part. Like, she completely dominated her, and she was a pretty big underdog. So I think that if there was a second one, it'd be that one. In terms of another one I really liked, Lerone Murphy over Edson Barbosa. I think that was a very good one as well. Lerone Murphy completely schooled Edson in that fight. Um, Let me look. Oh my God, Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. That was that was a great one to hit as well. I called that one as well. Some other ones. I'm gonna go more underdogs. Vivi Araujo over Kareem Silva made me proud. That was a really good one as well because a lot of people were doubting Vivian going into that one. Zalal a few times. Zalal's made my life pretty easy this year, which I'm very appreciative of. Miranda Maverick versus Guyoni Barbosa, I thought was a pretty good one as well. And this bet didn't win, but Ian Gary with Shavkat, I think that was a pretty good bet, even though it didn't hit. And Toja over Asakura deserves a mention as well. I'll live with those. I think those are some good ones I mentioned. So yeah. Now, worst bet of the year. I've had a few really horrible bets this year, but I think Miral Bazi kind of steals the show here. He got schooled so bad by Moreno. I was like, oh man, trust me, Albazi's gonna win this. The uppercut's coming. He's gonna knock down Moreno. He had nothing for Moreno. He had nothing. I appreciate he was really tough and he tried to go for it, but like, just not enough coming out. And I think this is a pretty bad bet because, yeah, he was coming off a big surgery and I thought he would be ready. Maybe he wasn't. And to be fair, I think part of it was Moreno being amazing. But, like, Albazi just really wouldn't throw and just, like, it felt like a big levels difference. And I thought he would be ready for that kind of fight. And it is pretty bad because it's coming off that Kai Kara France fight. I was predicting he's like, no, he's still on this level. That was tough. I thought he'd be able to get takedowns, maybe not so much. So I thought that was a pretty bad one. Another really bad one on my part was Yasmin Haragui versus Kevin Souza. I mean, you could argue it's me being coping a little bit. Like Yasmin was completely winning. She got caught on this. It's put into a sub attempt. I mean, Yasmin. Oh my God, Yasmin. She hurts my soul. Yeah, that can is just not trustworthy. It's like, and I mean, she would have been fine if Helen Souza wasn't ready. If Helen Souza wasn't ready to go for like a sub attempt right away, she would have been fine. But I mean, props to Helen Souza, absolutely got it in right away. I mean, just props to her. Another really bad one probably ended up being Leon Edwards versus Bilal. I mean, I kind of still hold the points I made, but I did underestimate Bilal's boxing, and I think Bilal won that fight because of the boxing. Although I still kind of hold the points so that's kind of why I didn't go with that one. But I did end up losing a lot on that. Edmund Shabazian versus GM3, that one hurt my soul. Oh, Edmund. Oh, he let me down hard there. Edmund just pulled Edmund. I kind of blame that on the ref again, but again, I'm coping. Couldn't be even that happening in the first place. Some other good losses I had. I guess you could argue Knutson. It's not a great one. I made some bad ones. I know I did. Let's see. I'm just like scrolling through to see some. I didn't think that one was that bad. Kyler Phillips over Rob Font. That was pretty bad. Like that. In retrospect, that seemed like an awful bet. No. Kyle Nelson. No. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I think those are some like particularly like really really bad bets I had. Um, oh no, I forgot. This was a really bad one too. Ron Betsky versus CDF, Carlos Diego Ferreira. Guys, like no, there was one that was just like particularly really bad. That was a horrible bet on my part. Where I was like, oh, I think Ron Betsky runs through him. Man, I couldn't believe what I was watching. That was an awful bet. So, yep, those are some of the worst bets. Some highlights, some lowlights. Happens with betting all the time. So here's my performance throughout this year. Had a great time at the beginning, then fell down pretty low, and then climbed up a bit, and then we kind of staying up there. Um, yeah, that's how it's going, and I think I know some of the changes I need to make. I need to not be betting on so much. I want to be betting on things I'm super duper duper confident in. I think just be more hell bent on that. I don't want to be betting on everything. Maybe I get back to that. I don't know, but because sometimes it goes great, sometimes it doesn't. And to be fair, my straight picks is in the positive. It's just everything else that's let me down. But I believe I still believe in myself to be able to get up there. There's a lot of fights I already have bets on, and I'm very excited about. And I think I like how I got them going. So that's what I'm very very excited about. And I think it's going to be a better year. And again, I know a lot of people struggled with last year, so I'm not going to be like too hard on myself. I had some amazing reads, and I had some horrible reads. It's time to adjust. It's time to adjust, and I think that's the biggest thing that I have to end up doing. So, yeah. Just real quick, go through features. Honestly, there's only one I really like. I really like, and I'm not so crazy about another one. Although there's one other one I think is somewhat interesting. Is Zhang Wei Li at evens. I'm not sure if she necessarily beats Suarez, but she's got a rematch if she loses. So that's the interesting one of that. And if she wins, man, maybe she doesn't even fight this year again. I don't know. She never fights, so she's so inactive. I don't know why. She's not maybe. But otherwise, I like these two: Valentina Shevchenko or Manon Fiorot. Basically, what I think, you can bet both of these, both be plus money and make money. I don't think any other girl on here is going to become champion. So that's basically the bet I'm making. I don't think Erin Blanchfield's become champion. I don't think Natalia Silva is becoming champion. I don't think Macy Barber's becoming champion. I don't think Alexa Grasso is becoming champion. I don't think Zhang Weili's becoming champion at not middleweight. Oh my god, flyweight. I think the biggest worries for me are Natalia Silva and Zhang Weili and Macy Barber, I guess. But I'm not even Macy Barber now like coming off injured. I don't know how injured she is. So like I'm not even sure she's gonna get that shot. Natalia Silva, I think, loses to both these girls if she even gets a shot, especially if it's against Manon. I think Manon beats a lot of these girls pretty like handily. Valentina's more like, but I still think she does win. So much experience. She's still so good. I'm not even sure if Alexa Grasso is gonna get a title shot right away, but I mean, especially if Valentina's champion, she's not gonna be getting no chance. The Shane is a little bit of a worry, but I don't think she beats these girls. I don't think Blanche is going to get title shot this year. Maybe, but probably not. I don't think so. And that's how I think things end up. But yeah, I think there's a good chance we get, if Manon wins, again, I'm so 50-50 on for this fight. If I had to lean away, I'd lean Shevchenko, but I'm like, I'm not confident. So that's why I'm betting this instead of betting Shevchenko or Manon Fiorot to win that fight. I'm not confident who wins that fight. So let me just root for both of them. Because I think both of them are the best in the division by far. And I think, yeah, that fight's going to be the one. If Manon wins, I think this bet's pretty safe because I think Valentina pretty much rematches for the belt if that happens, unless she's like injured or something like that. If Valentina wins, it's a little more dicey, but I think could be pretty good. So I like my chances with this one. I think this is a way to go. Betting both these two. So yeah, that's the last slide I have. So let me come back. Yeah, it's my first time ever doing like this sort of thing where I'm tracking bets and stuff like that. It's been rewarding of an experience, and I'm gonna keep going with it. I just keep trying to go with it. I'm going with the flow with it. I'm gonna be posting my predictions for this UFC fight night coming up. I have a massive bet on one person on this card. I have some other few bets on this other card coming up too. So, okay, sorry about that. I got interrupted, but what was I saying? I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna be posting predictions for this card this weekend, later today, and yeah, I'm super excited to get back into the UFC again. This pay-per-view card coming up as well. Holy cow, what a card. Very, very excited. It's going to be a fun time, and I'm glad for you to join me on this journey. Keep going up and up. So yeah, thank you very much. Peace out. See you again later.